Hello, learners. Very good morning. This is your boss man Sagar.Utekar, and currently you are on day 3 of Linux C Final Boss series. It is going to be a very long series of 31 days where we are going to discuss all the topics from Linux which are required to know as a DevOps and SRE engineers. It will help you a lot for your interviews, job, and to troubleshoot issues faster. Okay. So today we are going to discuss very simple yet very important topic Linux file system, and for this video I'm going to share my interview experiences as well, which will help you a lot. I have kept all my notes on GitHub repository. Let me quickly show you that and then we will start from there. So this is my GitHub repository Linux the final boss, where you will find all the notes. We are currently on day 3. You can fork this repository, give it a star, and follow the notes, read the notes, and follow the exercises from this. For practical, we will use VirtualBox virtual machine which we created yesterday as part of day 2 challenge. So let's get started. Okay, so you need to come to here on virtual machine and search for terminals in the show apps. You'll find something like this. Now let's try to understand the Linux file system. First of all, let me tell you, in Linux, everything is properly organized. Linux organizes everything under a tree-like structure starting from root directory slash. It doesn't work like drive letters in Windows. We have C drive, D drive in Windows. Here, everything is properly managed and structured in tree-like format. Okay. Now, when we logged in or opened our terminal, we are seeing something here. That is Linux the final boss at the rate Linux the final boss colon then tilde and dollar. So what does this mean exactly? And why should we understand this? So when you log in the shell prompt, it shows this format. And it tells you who are you and where you are currently as a user. So the first part here is your username. This is your username. Can be a root user if you are logged in as a root. If you are using Ubuntu machine on EC2, then you will have Ubuntu as a username. Okay. Then after at the rate we have this host name. It's a system ID or machine ID or machine name you can say. Then we have colon and then this path. It can be anything. So this shows that in the current directory of the logged in user. Currently it is tilde, which means it is a home directory. Tilde represent home directory. If it has been slash, which means it's a root directory. That is what we are going to discuss today. Okay, so let me quickly come here to Canva and show you the categories present in Linux file system. We are going to discuss Linux file system hierarchy. I have put down all the directories for you to understand it easily into 5 different categories. First is essential system directories. Let me explain this part, then we will go for the practical. So in this category, we have directories like bin, then your sbin slash sbin. We have slash lib, we have slash boot directory, we have slash dev directory, we have slash etc directory, we have slash proc directory, then slash syst directory, and slash run directory. So these are the directories I have put down into essential system directories for you to understand. So slash bin is for essential user binaries. Whatever the commands we run from the terminal, all those commands are placed into slash bin, and those commands are accessible to everyone. Okay, change the colors. So slash bin is for your user commands or user binaries. It's for non-admin related purpose and it is accessible by everyone. Then we have slash bin folder. It is for system binaries where all the administrative commands are placed. Only admin can use those commands or manage those commands. Then we have slash lib directory. It is essential directories for libraries, as the name suggests. This is a libraries directory for your kernel and system calls. Yesterday we discussed in day 2 that kernel uses system calls to interact with hardware. So it uses the functionalities or the libraries placed into slash lib. Then we have slash boot directory. Yesterday we also discussed about bootloader, grub. So all the files, bootloader files are placed into this directory. Then we have slash dev. It is for device files. Then we have very important directory called slash etc where all your system configuration files are placed. Then we have slash proc directory. Another important directory. We call it as a virtual file system for process and kernel information. If you want to check process information or kernel information, you should check out this directory slash proc. Then we have slash sys directory. It's for virtual file system for your system info. If you want to check system information, then you can check the files into slash sys. Then finally, it's a slash run, which is for runtime variable data. Okay, so yes, so that is the first category. Now let's discuss about second category, which we have in the Linux file system. The second category I have kept, it's simple. It's for user data and home. Okay, user data and home, under which we have two directories slash home and slash root. So slash home is a normal user home directory. Okay, and slash root is a home directory of your root user. That's simple. Let's not complicate it that. Then the third category is variable and temporary data. Under which we have, sorry. So in this, we have two directories slash var and slash temp, slash var and slash temp. Okay. So under slash var, it is used by different web servers for variable data. Maybe some web server like Apache or HTTPD want to store logs, and it will use slash var slash logs mails or cache var cache. So it will use slash var directory for variable data. If we want to store something temporarily, which can get auto deleted or auto cleaned after some time, then we can use slash temp directory as well. The final category is, sorry, this is the fourth category, is for software and user programs, additional software and user programs. Fourth category, it's a slash user or your slash user bean, which we are going to discuss on virtual machine as well, and slash user local and slash opt. Okay, so the first directory slash user contains your user programs, libraries and documentation. And then we have slash user bean and slash user sbean. Okay, these are non-essential user or system binaries. And then we have slash user local, which can be used for installing some local softwares. And then finally we have slash opt, which is for optional or additional softwares. Like if you want to install some custom Java version, then you can use for your slash opt. Final category is mount points. Okay, under which we have three directories: slash mnt, slash media, and slash srv. So mnt directory, it temporary mount, uh, it used as a temporary mount point for your file system. Then we have slash media. It can be used by removable media softwares or media drives like your USB or CD-ROM. And then we have slash SRV. It's for data for your services like web FTP services for sharing that data. Okay, this is not used by DevOps or SRE engineers, but just for your information. So if I want to summarize this, all this directory, okay, then out of this you need to know slash bin, slash sbin, slash lib, slash etc, slash proc, then user directories like slash home, slash root, variable directories, slash var, slash time, and software and user programs directories, then slash mnt directory. So just go through this and I'm sure you will understand. It's what we will do next is that go to our virtual machine again. Let's go to our virtual machine and see where are all these files. So if you do ls-l slash, okay, it will show you all these directories, correct? These are the directories we just now discussed, and there are a couple of more, but the one which we discussed are very important. So we have bin directory here. So let's try to go into bin. So you can use cd command. It's for changing the directory, cd slash bin, and see what is here. You will see here there are bunch of important binaries present, right? So um, any recognizable command, Yes, ls command. So ls command we run, right? So how does your computer know where to find the ls command or what to do when any user run ls command? So all that program is placed, or all those program files are placed into slash bin slash ls. Let's see, it's not a directory, correct? So the binary file, so we may not be able to understand, definitely not able to understand. Let me close this. I did something wrong. Let me restart it. Okay. I tried to read the binary file. I don't know why. Okay. So let's try to see what other directories have. I'm logged in again. Perfect. This is where we were. ls-l slash, and it will show you entire directory structure. If you do tree and -l level 2 and slash, it will show you this directory or tree-like structure and what are the files present. Okay, so it's a very huge list. We don't need to know that. Let's say one level and two directories. Yes. So this is the tree-like structure we are discussing. Bin folder have multiple bin directories or binaries. Then we have boot directory where all the bootloader files are present. Then we have dev directory where all device files are present. Let's check out etc. Here all the configurations are present. You will see .conf, right? Many configurations, which this is one of those important directories which as a DevOps and SRE engineers we use a lot. What else is there? Then we have proc. Proc is again, okay, yeah. Let's try to check what is there in proc, and you will see that there is information about your CPU info and boot config and devices and mem info. So this is that directory from where your top command reads the information about CPU and memory. If anytime top doesn't work, then you can check the information in proc CPU info, okay, or to read memory information, you can also check it from here. Very important directory. So I want you to explore all these directories. We go to slash home and then you will find that there is a home directory created for my user Linux the final boss. Okay, now next part is ls. When we do ls-al, there we are seeing some structure, and this command particularly we will discuss in detail in some other lesson. But for today's topic, I wanted to cover one more thing is file types in Linux. So remember, we got some error that um, it's not a file but directory when we try to read that cd into when we try to cd into the binary file, right? Said it's not a directory, but it's a file. How do we know that, and how to check whether it's a file or directory? There are common types of files in Linux. Let's talk about that first. Let me erase this part. I hope Linux file system is clear now. Let's focus on file types in Linux. You will get uh, questions on these as well, because interviewers like to talk about some complex things, or such kind of questions, ask such kind of questions in the interviews. Then we have these types. First one is your regular file. Okay. Regular files like your text, binary files, or your scripts, etc. Then we have directories. Directories are like folders in your Windows. Okay. So these are the folders, but in Linux we call them as a directories. Then we have links. So there are two different types of links. One is symbolic link and other is hard link. And then we have device files. Fifth category is named pipes. And final is pocket programs. Okay, so regular files are nothing but your text, binary or script files. Directories are folders containing multiple other files. Symbolic links and hard links. Very, very important question. Very important question. Even I got asked this question in my Apple interview. So symbolic links are pointers to other files or directories. You can create symbolic links with ln-s command, hard links using ln command. What is the difference in symbolic and hard link that I have put out in GitHub notes as well? Basically, symbolic links are pointers to other files or directories, and if the target is deleted, then symbolic link also gets broken, and we call that as a dangling link. But in case of hard link, so we create a additional directory entries for a file using command ln, and it also shares the same inode information. So it points to the same inode on your file system. Okay, and whenever when hard link gets deleted, so that's the main difference. In case of symbolic link, if the target is deleted, then your symbolic link is gets broken and it becomes a dangling link. But in case of hard link, one, if you are attaching it to multiple links, then it doesn't affect at all. But to remove your hard link, you need to delete all those files, or need to delete all those links properly. Then only your hard link gets deleted. Device files are categorized into two categories, not informative, like not important for us, like block and character device files. Named pipes are for inter-process communication, maybe sometime we'll use or no. And socket are for network communication. Okay, how to check out that? So the command which we ran just now, ls-l. So the first character was either slash this hyphen, which means it's a regular file. If it is D, then it's a directory. If it is L, it means it's a symbolic link. If it is C, which means it's a character device. If it is B, which means block device. P means named pipe, and S means socket. At least out of this, you should know how to identify regular file, how to identify directory, your symbolic links, character device. Okay, at least these three, four you should know. Then the next concept which I want to cover is that I hope this is understood. The next thing, very easy concept is navigating paths. Okay, so there is called absolute path. Basic question, but sometimes get asked in your interviews. Absolute path and relative path and hidden files. How to check hidden files? These are important questions. Okay, so yeah, so files. To check the hidden files, you can run the command ls-a, which reveals your all hidden files. Absolute path is a full form, like your complete directory path from home to your current directory is a full form, is called absolute path. Relative path is from your current directory. Okay, which means example could be home um, slash Ubuntu abc.txt. It's a absolute path. It's a current path from your home directory. And in relative path, you take current directory as a point. Okay, current directory dots current directory or some relative directory. Okay, so dot slash, which means current directory, and then abc.txt, or it can be tilde, which means it's a absolute of slash home. So tilde abc.txt. That's the only difference. Absolute path is a full form and relative path is a you take a shortcut to use file location. I have put down all these notes here so you can go through that. Try to understand what are different file types in Linux, regular files, directories, symbolic links, hard links, device, how to navigate the file system, use the cd command to change the directory, ls to list directories, pwd to print working directory, tree to visualize directory. Um, okay, how to navigate paths and hidden files to absolute path is like direct complete full form of the directory path, and relative path is a shortcut path. Hidden files can be looked up using ls-a command. Then there is a difference I have put down for symbolic versus hard links. You can use ln-s command for the symbolic link, ln command for the hard link, inode for every information, every path, it creates a new inode. And for hard link, it uses the same inode for all the links. Then how dangling link gets created in symbolic. So if target gets deleted, then link becomes dangling. Hard link, it doesn't create any dangling links. Yeah, yes. Use cases config analysis. So if you want to point long path to shorter version, then you can use the symbolic links, and hard links are like used for the version backups, multiple names for one file. The next part is hands-on exercise and lab are based on whatever the discussion we just had for this video. So how to check your root directory structure or Linux file system structure using ls-l. Try to understand different categories which we discussed now. Then visualize the structure using tree command, file types and inspections. Try to do this hands-on for hard links and soft links. Check out what happens when you delete the links or the target, and how to check the paths navigation and hunt using cd command or find command. Okay, I also put down some solutions here. You can check that out. Once that is done, you can check mark this completion checklist. And additionally, if you are interested, then you can go through this troubleshooting scenarios as well. What, how to resolve the permission denied issue or broken symbolic issue, no tree command found issue, inode full. This is one of important into questions. That is why I have placed what, how to um, fix the inode full issue. Okay. And tomorrow we are going to discuss about service management, Linux boot process. We already covered in day two, but we'll simply revise it and mainly focus on the service management, how to manage services in Linux. Okay, I hope that is clear. That is for today. Let's see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.